Yo, what's up everybody? It's your boy Mood616, and yes, it is that time for another video. This time it's going to be my Synapse film DVD slash Blu-ray collection overview. So it's actually requested by, I believe Zach asked me to do this a long time ago, aka Movie Guy 666. So if it was you, Zach, and if it wasn't you, Zach, regardless, I'm doing the video anyways, but yeah. So I'll start with the DVDs here. I'm not going to talk too much about the DVDs or the Blu-rays because the video will just be way too long. So with no further ado, let's get right into it. First up here is Basket Case 2, Frank Henenlotter sequel, of course, to Basket Case. Always liked this film. Thought it was a really fun sequel. It's goofy, kind of retarded, but super, super fun. Next up, then we got Basket Case 3. This movie is just retarded, but I really enjoy it, though. Pretty much anything that, actually I shouldn't say pretty much, anything that Frank Henenlotter did, I really enjoy, though. He was a very unique director. I wish he had done more work, but yeah. Basket Case 3. Then we've got Blue Sunshine. This is a Jeff Lieberman film from the 70s, I believe. This movie is fucking bizarro, really oddball film. This is a pretty cool edition, double disc. It's like I got this used, so it was like a cut version. Not the film isn't cut, but like the fucking case is a bit. It's so random, but yeah, awesome flick though. Definitely check out Blue Sunshine. I think it's out of print now. So, Brain Damage by Frank Henenlotter. This might even be my favorite Henenlotter film. I love the premise behind this film. It's just fantastic stuff. Really cool effects. Just everything about this one is just a blast. Really cool stuff. But, yeah. Next up here is a William Castle film, Castle Blood. Love this film. Love the atmosphere. I love the whole idea behind this based on a Edgar Allan Poe short story. Really awesome stuff. Great film. And we got Christmas Evil. I did a full-length review for this, I believe, Christmas Day last year. It was part of my 25 Days of Christmas Horror. I love this film, man. I know a lot of people, it's kind of hit and miss with a lot of people, but I personally really dig this film. I think it's a good character study. Interesting premise, so... yeah, so Vinegar Syndrome is actually putting out a Blu-ray. I think it just dropped, actually. So if you're looking to upgrade or pick up that, I do recommend this film. So Christmas Evil, cool stuff. Next up is a creature feature I've always adored. I love this movie. The Deadly Spawn, just a fantastic, cheese-tastic film. Like, I love the little creatures in this film. I shouldn't say little, they're fucking huge, but they did a fantastic job with the effects in this one. Really fun stuff. Highly recommended. Next up is Effects. This is a shelved movie, actually. I think it originally was supposed to come out in 1980. It never seen the light of day until Synapse picked it up, released it in whatever, the mid-2000s or whenever it came out, I'm not sure. But it's got Tom Savini in it. It's a pretty interesting premise about, a guy making a movie and people are really getting killed off and stuff. It's interesting. I think it could have been a little better, but I haven't watched it in a while, but I don't know. I think it was okay, though. Next up here is Evil Dead Trap. This is a pretty nutty Asian film. I do recommend this. I don't think it's for everybody, but I don't know, man. I think sometimes I might even prefer the second one over this one, but this is still a really cool release. So, Evil Dead Trap. Man. Executive Koala. This is a fucking bizarre film by the director there, Minoru Kawasaki. I always butcher the shit out of his name, but he's a really interesting director. This is a fucked up film. Don't even really want to get into it because it'll take forever to explain, but I do recommend this one. It's a fucking interesting film. Next up here is Frat House Massacre. I talked about this one on a Best of the Blind Buys video that I did a long time ago. This is an interesting film. It's kind of like almost two different type films. Two films in one. Right at about the midpoint, it kind of switches, but This is really enjoyable. I really like this. Some pretty interesting premise. I know that the title makes it sound very kind of generic, but it's a pretty cool film, though, I gotta say. So, Frat House Massacre, good stuff. Next up here is Homesick. This one's got Bill Moseley, Tiffany Shepis in it. Of course, my girl Tiffany Shepis. I love her with a passion. This is pretty good. Got some pretty damn good gore. It's low budget, but it's a fun film. I haven't actually watched this one in a long time, but I need to check it out again, especially for my girl Tiffany. Love her. But yeah, Homesick. Interesting film. Next up here we got Lucker, the Necrophagus, the director's cut. I did a review for this on an older review channel a long time ago. That review is no longer on YouTube. So this is I think it's a Dutch film, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's from the Netherlands. But it's a pretty decent film. I enjoy this one. I know a lot of people don't necessarily enjoy it, but I think it's got a bunch of redeemable qualities to it. So I don't know. It's pretty interesting. Definitely check it out. It's got a pretty cool name. Next up here is Nail Gun Massacre. I know Code Red just put out a Blu-ray of this. I would say stick with the DVD, though. The Blu-ray looks like shit. I do have the Blu-ray. It's not worth the money at all. This, I believe, has more special features anyways, so I can't quite remember. But Nail Gun Massacre, really, really cheesy slasher about somebody killing people with a nail gun. It's essentially kind of like a rape revenge film, but I've always had a lot of fucking fun with Nail Gun Massacre. I love this film. I actually have it on DVD, Blu-ray, and VHS. Wow, it's ridiculous. Night of Death. This is another film that I actually reviewed a long time ago, which the review is no longer on YouTube, but this is a French film that's got a really interesting premise set in I think it's like in an asylum or something like that about people. I can't quite remember the full premise of the film. I guess I might have to do another review on it. I remember really enjoying this one. It's actually a pretty decent film, so definitely check out Night of Death. I believe it's from, 1980, the year I was born, so yeah. Then we've got Patrick. This movie was actually just recently remade. This is the original one, Aussie flick about a guy that's like basically in a coma who's got like these telepathic powers or whatever you want to call them. It's a pretty cool film, man. I really enjoy Patrick for getting. I always thought that it was a very interesting role to take for this actor because he essentially has like no lines. He just kind of stares the entire film, but he does a fantastic job. Really cool flick. I enjoy Patrick. Next up here is Rock and Roll Nightmare. I talked about this one on a Best of the Blind Buys, I believe, also featuring Thor from the band Thor, John Michael Thor. It's such a fucking cheesy film, but I absolutely love this movie. It's fantastic. Got lots of special features on it. Really, really cool film. Highly recommended. It's so cheesy. It's so cheesy. It's great stuff, though. Next up here is Sick Girl. This one actually is pretty damn sick. It's got one part in this film that every time I think of this movie, I always think of that part with the nun. But there's some nasty gore in this. It's a pretty fucking sick and twisted film. Probably not for everybody, but I think it's pretty cool, man. It's pretty interesting. She's a fucking nutcase. Next up here is The Stepfather 2. Featuring, of course, Terry O'Quinn as a stepfather. He's fantastic. Caroline Williams is in this film. She's awesome. And, of course, Meg Foster. Really great follow-up. It basically just starts off where the first one left off. Terry O'Quinn just doing the same old shit, marrying into families and then killing them off and stuff. I really enjoy the sequel. It's actually one of my favorite sequels of all time. Really, really highly recommend that film. Here's another Aussie film called Strange Behavior, also known as Dead Kids. I believe Severin put out a Blu-ray called Dead Kids, but this is the alternate title, Strange Behavior. Pretty interesting film. The screenshot or the cover art here is actually a shot from the film. That part's so fucking brutal, man. Anything with eyes, everybody knows how much anything to do with an eye just makes me cringe, man, in that part right there. But I really enjoy this film. It's not like it's not, an A plus, but it is a pretty interesting film. It's different. It's got a different structure to it, kind of different way of telling what's going on. Hammer House of Horror. This is a short-lived British anthology show. Basically, it only lived for about one season, that many episodes. But the cool thing about this is that they're like hour-long episodes, so you do feel like you're watching short films. But pretty cool stuff, man. I really enjoy this. Almost every episode's very enjoyable, but definitely check this out. Very cool stuff. And then we got Stacy. This is I think, Japanese zombie film. This one is pretty interesting. It's got a pretty cool premise to it. I need to watch it again. I haven't watched it in a while, but I really enjoyed this. Decent film from the early 2000s, 2001 this one came out in, but yeah, pretty cool stuff. The newest one to my collection is Fatal Frames. I actually haven't even showed this one yet. It'll be in my next update, but I have watched it. I did watch it. It's an Italian film from like 95 or 96 about a American director, music video director, who gets an opportunity to go over to Italy to record a music video for their, a major pop star over there. He takes the job, goes to Italy, and soon after he witnesses a murder, and he kind of becomes the prime suspect, because basically what happens is he's obviously tells the cops what happened. There's no body, there's no sign of a kill and stuff. Some other people start winding up dead, but the thing is about the killer is that he actually videotapes his murders and stuff. It's a pretty interesting premise. The coolest thing about this movie is how oddball it is. It's shot in such low light, and it's very blue and grayish through the whole film. It's got really, really awesome atmosphere. The music and soundtrack in this film is really bizarre also. It's got like this pop music, but it's got like this other type. The sound structure in the film is really interesting. Overall, it's not like a fantastic film, but it's highly recommended just for the oddball, elements and how this thing was made and stuff. But the cover does give a really good indication of what it looks like, because it's pretty much what it looks like. It's very dark, and it's very bluish gray. Very interesting film. And yeah, it is Italian, English speaking, but I enjoyed it though. I think the ending does hurt it actually quite a bit though. The ending, in my opinion, was, I'm not even going to say that, because then you guys might be able to figure it out, but I think the ending does hurt the film. Next up here is Exorcism. This is a Jess Franco film. It's okay, it's Jess Franco. Jess Franco's got to be one of the most hit and miss directors ever, really, but, this is his attempt at, making an Exorcist type film. It's okay, like a lot of his films. It's not terrible. Next up here is Wild Zero. Now, this is a movie that should have been made in the 80s. It even looks like it's even from the 80s, but it came out in like 2000. It's a fucking weird one too. One of these Asian cult cinema collection. Oh, sorry, I got the hiccups. I really dig this though. I think it's a pretty interesting type zom-com. I don't know. It's fun. It's fun. Next up is another one that I've actually fully reviewed before. This is probably my favorite eco type horror film. It's an Aussie flick. Called Long Weekend. This one actually does have a remake, but this one is just a fantastic film. I did a theme week on my channel called an Aussie themed horror week, but this was part of it, and highly recommend this film. It's such a fantastic film. There's so many different elements to this one. Just a lot of kind of undertones to it, and great film. Highly recommend it. One of the newest DVD releases by Synapse right here is a film called Worm. This one is basically a brand new film. It says 2013. It came out of media in 2014. So we talked about this one in the podcast. A very, very oddball film about people. It takes place in the future, and basically it's about people that cannot dream anymore. So they start taking these, or basically putting these type of worms in their ears called phantasites. And and it allows them, and it makes them dream, like in these really vivid dreams. Of course, society deems them unhealthy, they ban them, and then it just kind of turns from there. People are going batshit crazy for these worms because they want to dream, and essentially they become addicted to them. It's a really fucking fantastic film. The way I kind of classified this one is like, it's kind of like a mix between antiviral and like Requiem for a Dream. It kind of has comedy elements to it, and then towards the end it really does switch tones in the movie. It's a fantastic film. There's a lot to say about this one. Really great film though. Next up, Black Roses from 1988. I reviewed this one also on my 88 series. Great heavy metal type film. Everybody knows about Black Roses. Really cool stuff. Directed by John Fasano, who is now deceased, unfortunately, but rest in peace to John. Great flick though. Really cheesy, fun stuff. Great stuff. And then we got Header. Man, this movie, every time I look at this cover, it makes me laugh. But this one, I don't really want to give too much about the premise, but a header is something pretty fucking nasty. That's all I'll say. It's got some nasty gore in this one. This one isn't really for everybody. It's kind of more on the extreme level, a little over the top. It's not a comedy at all, but so it's kind of nasty that way. But I recommend Header. It's pretty fucking awesome, actually. And last up for the DVDs here is Entrails of a Beautiful Woman. And this is actually the only DVD I've never watched, because this is a sequel to Entrails of a Virgin, which I do not have, and that's one I'm actually after. I need to grab that one. A few other DVDs that I'm looking to grab is Entrails of a Virgin, Oregon, Dark Forces, Renaissance, Bizarre, Cyclone, I think Asylum too. There's a few more Synapse DVDs that I will be picking up sooner than later. So, but that is the reason why I have not watched this one yet. So I heard this is pretty fucking nuts though. So, and I'm just going to move these. Get into these Blu-rays. All right, so yeah, we're gonna get into these Blu-rays here. Yeah, let's get right into them. First up here, we've got the Countess Dracula, part of the Hammer Horror Collection. This is really fucking awesome. Ingrid Pitt does such an amazing job as the Countess. Oh, I couldn't recommend this movie enough. It's so good. It's such a fantastic film. One of the some of these later Hammer films that were made in the 70s were just ridiculously good. Great PQ, awesome stuff. Matter of fact, all these Hammer Collection releases by Synapse are just ridiculously good. Vampire Circus, I believe this was the first one that came out. This is actually one of my favorite vampire films of all time. I think this movie is just amazing. Really well done. Great atmosphere. Just everything about this is just fantastic. From 1972. Another brilliant Hammer film. Next up here is Hands of the Ripper. This is a really fun one too. Great atmosphere. Another really fantastic film from the late 70s, or from the early 70s. These were pretty much the last of the Hammer films. Hands of the Ripper, great stuff. Really great stuff. And then we've got Twins of Evil, I think also came out in 1971. This is another really great film. Love the twins in this one. They look fantastic. What can I say about Twins of Evil? Just another really great film. Really great stuff by Synapse. Another awesome release. Then next up we've got Document of the Dead. This is the synapsefilms.com exclusive. You can only get it there. This one was limited, I believe, to 3,000, and oddly enough, you can still get it. It's been out for a few years now. I think they dropped this in 2012, so a couple years ago, almost 3 years ago, and it's still available, which is unfortunate because it's fantastic. It comes with both versions of the documentary poster and stuff. But yeah, definitely pick this up, man. It's fantastic. It's a document, of course, of Dawn of the Dead. Really great stuff. Of course, that being my favorite movie of all time. Street Trash, the special Meltdown edition. This does have all the special features from the DVD that I never did actually pick up. This transfer is beautiful. This movie looks fantastic on Blu-ray. It's amazing how Synapse takes these older films, these really low budget films, and makes them look so great. great. Really, really great stuff. Such amazing stuff. Really good features on here too. It's definitely worth, watching for the documentary on here is fantastic. Great stuff. Can't go wrong. And then we've got Maniac Cop, which was this version was sent to me by Jeremy, who actually had it signed by the director, William Lustig, and then I got Tom Atkins to sign it up there at Wasteland, if you can read that. So that was really cool. Thanks, Jeremy, once again for getting the signed by William Lustig. Awesome stuff. And I actually do have another copy of Maniac Cop on Blu-ray. Don't know what I'll do with this, but yeah. And then we've got actually one of my most watched Blu-rays in my entire collection. I watch this movie all the fucking time. I just love The Exterminator. I think it's fantastic. Great vigilante film. I just love the premise of this, man. I'm just such a big fan of vigilantism. I think it's just, I don't know, man, eye for an eye. I believe in that shit, so I love this shit, though, man. It's just such a great movie. Transfer's awesome. Great sound. Uncut, too, so really good stuff, but Synapse never fails with the releases. Awesome stuff. And then we've got Life and Death of a Porno Gang. This always gets compared to a Serbian film because this is a Serbian-made film about this gang of people that are on the road doing, sex acts and making these weird fucking movies and shit. And it's a pretty interesting film. There's one scene with a horse that just fucking makes me gag, but I actually really enjoyed this. I know some people actually prefer this to a Serbian film. I don't really like to compare the two because they're really different, kind of. I think it's a great film, though. I had a lot of fun with this. Yeah, Life and Death of a Porno Gang. Great transfer. And this is probably my most watched Blu-ray in my entire collection. I'm talking like my entire Blu-ray collection. Intruder, I think I watch this like at least fucking once a month. It's just insane. Of course, this is the director's cut. Fantastic cover art. Transfer is amazing. The kills in this film are just, so awesome. Love the setting. The grocery store is just fantastic. Sam Raimi's in this film. Ted Raimi. Got a quick cameo by Bruce Campbell. Great special features. You can't go wrong with this, man, at all. Intruder, fantastic stuff. And then we've got Thou Shalt Not Kill Except. This is the reverse cover art for it. This is a fantastic fucking film, man. I love this war type film. It's great. Such an awesome film. Definitely check this out if you've never seen this film. I think a lot of people would dig this. So, really good stuff. Then we've got Embodiment of Evil. This is the third film in Coffin Joe's trilogy. I know a lot of people actually didn't know that, but this is a pretty good film, though. I think the first two films in the trilogy are really, really fantastic. Actually, pretty much all of Coffin Joe's older stuff is great. But this movie right here, it's pretty gory. It's got some pretty interesting shit going on, but I highly recommend it. Great transfer. Then we've got The Dorm That Dripped Blood, also known as Pranks, and it does have the reverse cover art. This is a really enjoyable film that takes place, obviously, at a dorm on Christmas Eve, I think, Christmas. It's got Daphne Zugig, or whatever her fucking name is in this film. Think of her from, Spaceballs and Melrose Place, I guess, I don't know. The Dorm That Dripped Blood, it's great, man. I really enjoy this film. Next up here is another Head and Lauder film, Frankenhooker. Oh, man, I love this movie. Patty Mullen, she's fantastic. I was supposed to actually meet her last year at Wasteland, but she actually canceled last minute, which I was really disappointed because I actually brought this Blu-ray to get signed and I never got to meet her, so that was unfortunate. But, Frank Henenlotter, I love this film. It's basically his version of Frankenstein. Just an awesome, awesome flick. Everybody knows about that movie. This is becoming one of my most watched Blu-rays. I love trailer videos. I don't like to watch new trailer videos or trailers for new films. I love watching old Grindhouse and old sci-fi, like these type of like these 42nd Street Forever trailers. This is just awesome. This runs about 4 hours long, and it's got everything from horror, exploitation to porno, fucking everything in there. All types of fucking trailers and stuff, and it's just great. It's a great way to pass time, drink some beer, put this on in the background, have a good laugh at some of the trailers. They're just, like I said, it's got everything: sci-fi, horror, exploitation, black exploitation, like any type of exploitation, porno. Like I said, it's really, really fantastic. That's just a little bit of what you're going to get there from the trailers, but highly recommend this. Awesome. I hope they put the rest out on Blu-ray actually too. I think this is actually the first 2 DVDs in one. I think there's like 5 or 6 trailer DVDs or whatever, but this is like the first 2 volumes plus more into this one, so it's pretty cool. Then we've got Curtains, newer release by Synapse. They did a great job with this. This never really had a proper DVD release. It was part of a 4-pack or whatever. It'll transfer look like ass balls, but this is great. I think Curtains is another film that does get unfairly hated on. It did have a lot of production value or production issues and stuff, but I really like this film. It's got a lot of things going for it. It's not perfect, but it does have its moments, and I think it's definitely worth the pickup. Transfer alone is fantastic. Great features. Yeah, you can't go wrong. Then we've got obviously the best print of this movie ever, and Prom Night. After watching this movie, I did learn that, or come to conclusion, I do like this movie. I still don't like it as much as other people, but watching it like with a really good transfer does change the film. You get to see a little more. It's not as dark. It's not my favorite in the franchise. I always said that I like Part 3 the most, like the uncut version of Part 3, the one that comes in the Canadian box set, which I have. It's fantastic. But this one is still it's an enjoyable film. It's got an awesome soundtrack. Good stuff though. Highly recommend it. Then we've got another Aussie flick called The Odd Angry Shot. This is a Vietnam film. Or war film. Is it Vietnam? I can't even remember shit. Oh man, that's so bad. During the 60s, struggle for Vietnam, so, man, I haven't watched it in a while, my bad. But really highly enjoy this film. I think it's fantastic. Good stuff. I think the only 2 Synapse Blu-rays that I'm missing right now is The Image, which is like it's like a sleazy type, dramatic, type film. I'm not even really too sure what The Image is, and I'm missing Red Scorpion 2 on Blu-ray. And then, I guess I'll show this one out first. And then, of course, I've got the Demon Steelbook. Have to have the Demon Steelbook. Probably one of the nicest steelbooks I've ever seen. Really, really great stuff. I know that they just released these on the standard Amaray cases, but unfortunately they don't come with the special features, so if you want the features, get the steelbooks. If you don't care about the features, definitely go for the standard editions, because you're getting an awesome film in both, and you're also getting really good PQ. The PQ on these is fucking phenomenal. Really good stuff. And of course, here is Demons 2. What can I say? Great follow-up. It's a very, very young Asia Argento in the film. I love these Lamberto Bava films. They're fucking phenomenal. Really, really great stuff. And yeah, maybe Synapse will put out some more steelbooks in the future. Who knows? But maybe they won't charge as much for them. The prices were a little ridiculous. But so that is going to do it for the Synapse collection overview. Like I said, I'm missing, I think, 2 Blu-rays and obviously a lot of DVDs. There's lots I'm missing, but there's only maybe about 10 more that I actually really do want for the collection. But anyways, that is my collection of Synapse films. Hope you enjoyed the video. Give me your thoughts on these and maybe some other ones if you recommend, and I will talk to you guys later. Thanks again, Zach, for asking me to do this, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace out.